You're listening to Polished Woman, only on LA Talk Radio.
Yay! This is my favorite episode. It's Racing Teenagers. the toughest job in the whole world.
There should be like an invisible wall
right
here. There is an invisible wall right here.
Yeah. Look at their faces, right away.
Yeah, right away that we had to drag them to be here.
I know.
They didn't want to be here.
Racing Teenagers.
I'm not putting on mascara, Mom. I'm not doing it.
Wait, Racing Teenagers has never been easy. Of course not. Every generation has had something that their parents feared, worried about, or even overacted about. And this generation is no different. What has changed, though, is the way that we look at those issues, how to discuss them, and how heavily they're reported. I think that it's important to keep that conversation going. I lost my mom at an early age, so I didn't really have a mother, but I had grandparents. But losing a mom at an early age, that made me,
I didn't know that. How old?
Have SEX early and got pregnant at an early age.
How old were you when you lost your mom?
I was 15, but I'm not. I love.
Your mom died when she was 15.
When I was
you were
15.
Oh my gosh.
I love that I have my daughter, though. I'm happy, but I'm just saying that without us. Parents, you can get
without you guys. I guess
you guys are still laughing about SEX.
Really?
She's talking about her mom died, and you guys are still laughing about SEX over there. I'm like,
so I don't have to introduce her. This is her second time, Eva LaRue. Thank you for coming, and her daughter Kaya, and of course my daughter Brianna. Hello. So, how do you describe your mom?
Brianna, how do you describe your mom? How would you describe your mom?
Well, I'm gonna be truthful about it, so I hope everyone gets it. It's not nothing bad, but my mom. Let's see. There's a lot to her, and when you meet her, she's the kind of person. She's not shy. She's the opposite of shy. She's very loud and outgoing, and she yells a lot, even just way too much. But she's very close with all her children, of course, and she gives so much advice to all of us, and so helpful, and you're always there. Nice. And then there's your crazy side where you yell, and
that's just being a mom.
Being a parent. I got to write on that too. My mom's pretty loud and crazy. It's either the Puerto Rican side of her. She's either passionate about something or just talking about a show, whatever it is. She's just out there. She's very passionate. Once she finds something she really loves, she goes for it, and then she works, and then sometimes she gets lazy, and then she won't work at it, and then come back to it another year later, and then be like, work. So she's always going to get something done, but it'll be done in a span of 5 years, even if it's just writing her name on a paper. It'll get done sooner or later. Her time skills are not great. That is a big thing. Big thing. That is the one thing we'll warn everyone about before being friends with my mother. It's her time.
She's always
her time management. But other than that, the good thing, she's always been really supportive and really she's a little pushy, but pushy in the right direction, in trying to make my dreams happen and trying to make me a better person. So she's cool.
So Eva, are you raising Kaya the way your mom raised you?
No.
Why?
No.
Wait, what? Okay.
Exclamation point.
Okay.
Well, I think in the way that my mom really went out of her way to find what my sister and I were good at, what our talents were, and what and nurture those and support those and really help us to be the best that we could be in those. Sometimes going overboard, like you said, by just pushing. Yeah. And at the time, you think, I'm gonna kill her, get off my back. But if she hadn't pushed,
Yeah.
you know, past what I thought was comfortable, then I wouldn't be successful. I you know, owe everything to my mom. But at the same time, like, we grew up in a time where we didn't have cell phones. We didn't even have an answering machine. So my mom had zilch clue where I was all day, nor did she really care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that she didn't care, but our parents just didn't
know where we were at.
They just didn't know where we were at, and they didn't care as long as we were home in time for dinner. And
that is so true.
Yeah.
I wish it was still like
Call and
that.
check in, because who are you going to
Great.
call? How were you going to call and check in? You couldn't
Yeah.
text them and tell them where you were, or any of that.
Yeah.
We were just so much more self-sufficient in our generation. And so I parent totally differently, because, you know, I guess I could be considered like most parents now, which would be like a helicopter parent. Like, I'm like, where are you? Text me when you get there. Text me when you leave. Text me when you leave.
That's what you, Mom. My mom has a tracking app to just track me. But to be honest, Life 360.
Yeah.
It's the worst app ever. But to be honest, I track her more than she tracks
Kaya
me.
turns it on me.
Because my mom won't answer a text.
Kaya turns it on me now. She's like, and she'll take a picture of it. I know where you are, Mom. I can see you.
I'm like, why won't you answer my text, Mom? You're like, I see you.
I'm like, because you're asking for something dumb.
Like, are you okay?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Mom's
see, that's
coming,
the sneaky thing. Mom, where are you? Why? Because you want to know what time I'm going to be home, because you have to have everybody out by then?
I know.
You didn't invent
you
that.
wish.
You kids didn't invent that. We already know.
Well, do you feel sometimes that we are actually pushing you on things that you don't want to do, and it's us like wanting you to do it?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of things like when I started doing my Top Teen Traveler and like my own blog and stuff, or even writing my own article for
I've heard about that article, by the way.
Oh, thank you, but-
Congratulations.
Thank you
Plug
for
it.
child
Yeah,
marriage.
plug it. Can you,
for
like, tell them?
child marriage in the U.S. Yeah, I've created my own campaign called #StillAGirl campaign. And at first, you know, I was doing it and I was like,
And it's on your website, KayaCallahan.com.
my
Go visit.
website.
And she has a at Top Teen Traveler on, which is where she writes all of her travel blogs.
I do.
On her Instagram account.
I do. Yep.
But she wrote an article that ended up being posted in
Which it was great.
Teen
but I
Vogue.
think as like I was 15 when I wrote it and I was doing it and I had a lot of doubts and I was like, man, this is not gonna work. What am I doing?
Who's gonna
Wasting my
read it?
time. Who's gonna even read this? Full on. And then my mom was like, come on, let's do it. How about you like picked out the biggest names? Like, let's do Huffington Post. I was like, Huffington Post? Like, no.
Yeah.
And we sent one anyway and she was like, how about Teen Vogue? And I was like, all right. So mom literally went through a magazine, like she found some names, she found like emails, she was like, go, let's do it. And full on, it was like a complete dream to me. Like they answered me back within like 2 days and then they were like, yeah, we're going, like let's do it. And then I'd go back and forth sending edits and I got this whole like
That's
a
amazing.
contract.
Yeah.
And I was like,
She
oh
got a
my God,
writing
this is
contract.
I didn't tell any of my
Wow.
friends. I didn't tell any of my friends that I was writing this for like
Wow.
months till the day it came out because I just like
And the
I don't
article's
know.
quite shocking
I just
because
think
it's
it was
on.
real.
There are 25 states in the United States that still allow marriage under the age of 12 years old, and that's the article that Kaya wrote. And I don't think most Americans have no idea. We all think that it's happening in some other country, that they're marrying their children and they're like disgusting and weird. No, we're doing it right here.
yeah.
25 states allow it right here.
No.
California being one of them.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yep.
crazy. But yeah, my mom really pushed me, and that was really good because I think I had too many doubts in my head, and my mom was that more positive push. But then there's some things where, like, I don't know. Well, not school, because I guess, I need to push for school, too. I need to push a little bit for grades. But, yeah, like, as a kid, when I thought about doing acting for a sec, and I just hated it. Oh, my God, I hated it. I hated going to auditions. I was like, I'm out. And my mom kind of kept pushing, and I was like,
right? It's just stressful.
yeah, after like 2 or 3, I was like, Ma, I can't. Like, and she was like, come on, like, just do one more. And I was like, Ma, like, don't
Yeah,
push
but I
it.
was like, I didn't push it after
Yeah,
that.
after that, you didn't push it. But so I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever had to do.
secretly
My mom was like, my mom was like that too. I was really young and she acted when she was like
I know.
long time ago, and then she wanted me to start acting. And then I was like super young at that time, and I just didn't like it, and that wasn't like my passion. And she's like, no, just keep doing it, good auditions, like photo shoots, headshots, all that. And I'm like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, no.
And that's when she pushed me, and I like didn't like it. So then she finally realized that I wasn't enjoying it, I wasn't having fun. So then she stopped that.
Yeah.
And then there are the times where she pushes me for like modeling, and it's just in a good way, and she just helps me through that.
You like modeling?
No,
I
no,
didn't
yeah,
push
that's
you
what
with
I'm
that.
talking about.
Yeah.
I think at a young age, though, they have more control, so
Yeah.
then they can push.
Mhm.
And we just whine, but then they're like, ha ha.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't do
your mom."
anything.
I think with you and I, the show really helped us making.
my God.
We did,
Making a model
with Yolanda. Did it. That
And where can you still
really,
watch it?
On Lifetime.
in Lifetime. I think
On
there's still
Lifetime.
they do a replay and stuff, and I think
so
that got us
cool.
close because there's nobody there except just her and I.
Yeah.
There's no dad, there's no siblings, there's no other friends,
Yeah.
and it was just her and I. So I think we got close, and that's when we really bonded,
Yeah.
and and we started like telling all the secrets and stuff.
Secrets?
Yeah.
No. There's
All
secrets.
the
Just, like, if I had a
secrets.
problem, I wasn't scared to like tell you or like ask you
Yeah,
about it. You know,
yeah.
because you give good advice. That's like the one thing, not the one thing, but like you're really good at it. You're really good at giving advice.
Of course, the polished woman. So we're living in an age of social media, which isn't a big deal for our girls because this is the only world that they've known. That they've known. But Eva, I want you to know if you think that being in public eyes yourself has given you an advantage when it comes to parenting.
No.
Did it? No.
No, as a matter of fact, I feel like, social media, while it can be really great for some
Yeah.
things, obviously has a downside, and people have the ability to, I call them the professionally offended. There's
Yeah.
people who literally troll all social media to just be
Oh, yeah.
professionally offended because they have nothing better to do with their life than to. Can you imagine if they took all that energy and used it for good?
Yes.
Or to say positive,
yeah.
they put out a positive message, but they spend their days just looking for people to be offended by.
Yeah.
And stupid stuff.
I know.
So, you know what I mean? So people have the, because we're in the public eye, they have the ability to just like rant and say whatever they want. And you know
Yeah.
what? We're all on this imperfect parenting path. None of us are great at it. We're just like fumbling our way through trying to figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yes.
And some of it we do well, and some of it we screw up. And the
Yes.
bottom line is like we're humans, and we're trying, and we're treading a human path. And
Yes.
for other people to be like you, really? God, I
See,
wish we
I
had a
know.
camera on you, anonymous loser, who can anonymously attack because you don't have the courage to put your photo out there and be like, I said this nasty thing. No, but if anybody took on your life, they could rip it to shreds, I'm sure. But why would I? Because that's not who I am, and I don't have time for running around ripping
Yes.
other people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
because-
Like, I'm trying to live a more positive life, and that's the negative part of social media, I think.
Kind
And
of-
it's tough for the kids, I think, because
it
I
is.
try to teach her
Yeah.
to don't read that stuff. It's hard to not read that stuff.
It's
Yeah.
hard
It is
not to
hard
read.
We
bad
focus
stuff.
on that
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
You get 30 great, we love you, you're amazing,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah,
beautiful,
it's just like
and you
that
focus on
one.
that
that
one.
one that
That
comes
one.
through, and you're
Exactly.
'Cause
like,
it's almost like you think like you're like, I start overthinking and I'm like, oh my God, like, am I that person?
Yeah.
Is that who I am?
Yeah.
Is that how people see me? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
like for whatever it says, and I'm like, it just kind of gets me in like a dark spin, and I'm like, man, like,
yeah, does it to
what?
everybody.
How can you explain all the teenagers that are watching right now how to get rid of that? How can you not focus on that one message that wasn't good and focus on the 30 good other messages?
It's a really good
They
question.
don't know who you are. It's like they don't.
Yeah.
They haven't. I mean, I don't know, but they haven't met you. Like they don't know who you are, like truly inside. And the people that are giving you like, oh my God, I love you, like they're true people. But the people that are wasting their time, like writing that bad stuff about you, like they're just.
They don't know who you are.
They don't
and
know who you
yeah.
are. And
They're
that's-
just judging you also because of their own insecurities. Like,
Exactly.
for their own, basically they don't think their life is good enough, or they're like, man, like my life, blah 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 blah, and they just take it out on other people whose lives are actually good, and they're evolving and they're doing things in life. Like Brianna, like with your modeling, you're actually out there, like
Yeah.
you're making your own like name for yourself, and people are just like, well, I don't have my own name, I'm not heard, I'm not, so they
Yeah.
just take it out on that. So
Exactly.
Do you suggest, or do you suggest everyone to just delete that message, or
For sure.
delete it.
I delete.
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
block all
say
people
that do that.
respond,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't respond because then it'll just turn
Oh,
into a bigger
you
thing.
respond,
then-
it's a
yeah.
mess.
Because then people come like, it's weird, then it's all like everyone comes in on
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
And like,
No.
I delete
a
it
weird thing.
and block them because I don't want the conversation to continue, and I want
Yeah.
somebody else to
Yeah.
like jump in. And I've always said from the get-go on all of my social media, if this is, I do this because it's fun, and I do this and I keep it positive. Anybody who comes in here to be negative is gonna get blocked.
Like, they're gonna
do
be
this for
little
fun.
haters,
Don't make it
and
not
they don't
fun.
need to see the
Yeah.
rest of your Instagram. Like,
Right.
they don't deserve to. Like, if they're just gonna be hating on it. Like,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you hate me, then why are you following me?
Exactly.
That's so
Because
true.
they
Yeah.
envy
Right?
you.
I know.
But Eva, is there anything that you did when you were a teenager that you don't want Kaya or I would want Brianna to do the same
A
thing?
bunch. Yeah, a bunch. I mean, Kaya knows this too, and I probably should never have told her this.
You
but
mean like the time you stole a Bob's Big Boy statue?
I didn't personally steal them. Thanks, Kaya. I could probably still go to jail for that, I'm sure. Thanks for
LAPD. She did it in Norco.
No, I didn't do it. All the
With all
high
her
school
friends.
boys did it. I happened to be with them. So I was in a
She stole a
complete
Bob's Big Boy
No,
statue.
it got put back. It got put back. It got put back. The high school, like the football team, thought it would be funny to steal. But
She was the accomplice.
thanks, Kai.
Let's talk about what you did, Kai.
Yeah. But you know what? I used to get straight A's. I was on dance scholarships. I was working already as a teenager. I was doing everything everybody wanted me to do.
Yeah.
I was always the good girl, but not on the sly. But nobody knew what I was up to. So, you know what? I never did drugs. I never drank. I think I probably can count on one hand how many times I drank in high school. I just didn't like. I mean, because at that point it was the Screw Off Boone's Farm, like pink wine. It wasn't even. It was disgusting. So it was like to miss that was not a big deal. And then I wasn't a beer drinker, and I tried pot in high school, but I didn't like it. And I mean, that was just me. I know lots of people love it, but that was just me. So, but I had a boyfriend, so I would sneak out. But
So she used to take her mom's car and push it down the street because when you could push it, then it would start, so then it wouldn't make a loud noise, and then she'd drive away.
yeah,
I
now
know
the
all
little
these
brats are taking Ubers
Uh-huh.
and sneaking out the doggy door.
No, but honestly, you have to listen to your moms because just what she just.
But
said
I did
that.
what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah, I
knew
gotta
what
get
I was
what
up
I
to, and I didn't sneak out every night. Like that was just
Every once in a while.
every once in a while. It literally, and it wasn't
other day.
until I was like
Monday
17,
through
and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm like acting like an adult. I have a job. My mom's working at night, and so bye.
The one thing that really scares me is like when my kids, I have other two kids that are older, and I have not had any problem with her. But nowadays, because you have phones, right?
Yeah.
If they video you and you're like drunk or passed out,
Oh,
or
it's
like
there
drugs
forever.
or like
Forever and
it's
ever.
there forever.
Yeah.
So I always like tell Brianna, I said, never ever do that. Never ever take someone else's drink or
Right.
leave your, if you're out or leave
I
your
always tell her,
drink
don't be the drunk girl at the party.
Yeah.
Never leave your friends behind.
Man, I'm like the mom at the party. I'm like, I go with the group, and then I'm like, where's so and
Like,
so?
are you okay? You need
Yeah.
some water. Drink some water.
Get some water. Susie, we're gonna get you an Uber. Let's go. Linda, you stay right there. I got you next. I'll be back.
triage at the corner. Triage. Yeah.
One over the shoulder, one dragging behind. We can do it. We can do it. It's like a battleground, my God.
Hey, and guess what you should do if you are drinking, because we can't stop them, but remember, drinking is not good for your skin. I'm
It
very
is not
vain
good
that
for
I
your
did
skin.
not drink. You have to pee. Drink a lot of water, drink and pee. Pee, because you won't get drunk. That was my secret. 'Cause my
Pee
friends
for
are
the
like,
skin,
you're
for the
drinking and
clear
you're not,
skin.
you don't get drunk. But they see me like pee so many times. I just
Like, I
pee.
drink so
So
much
if
water.
you drink and then you pee, you won't
Just
get
pee
drunk.
it all.
No, you have
You
to drink a
won't
lot
get
of
A
water.
lot
Oh, a lot
of
of
water,
water.
guys.
That's
A
not
lot
quite-
of
quite
water.
it,
So,
yeah.
so up until now, we've talked a lot about fear and worry, and that's important. But that's what's also important is the special bond that mothers and daughters share, and I want to highlight that as well. Kaya, if you were to plan the perfect girls' day for you and your mom, what would it be?
Oh,
Let's
high
start-
tea.
Huh?
High tea at the peninsula. No
Yes.
doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. High
Do you
tea.
guys want to go with us next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the peninsula. peninsula.
Yeah, the high tea at the peninsula. Oh my
No
god.
joke.
I
That was.
love
I was
yeah.
already planning to do that before school started.
Yes.
That is the best.
That's gonna be
With them little sandwiches.
And the
the
scones.
And the
Yeah, we have to go
macarons,
to-
like those little.
Oh my god, I love
They're
okay.
so
We're
good.
gonna plan that.
That is the
Massage.
girls'
Yeah,
day.
And a massage. What else would I
Oh,
want?
yes.
That's what I would next.
And getting my
Spa and
nails
high tea
done.
would be
I know,
my
right?
perfect day.
That's the perfect.
Yeah,
that is the
that's
girls'
so
We have to do that.
Yeah.
big
Yep,
event.
perfect.
Plan.
It's a plan. It's
It's
set.
done.
Yeah.
You can afford to do that?
Then you make your own high tea.
Yeah,
you know,
You buy some at
You
Walmart.
massage
You
your
yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
And then
Your
she
own
massages
feet.
you, your feet.
And you make the little scones together. That would be like
Yes,
really
there you
fun
go.
too.
That is true,
like
that's
yeah.
true.
Make scones together.
Brianna, what's your favorite memory of me?
Of us together.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure at the in the show. Like
Yeah.
because there was a lot of thinking when we were on the show, and because we were in front of TV, like cameras were watching us all the time, and we had to be careful. So we always had a game plan of each assignment. We had a game plan and what we would do and what we would say, and like it was that bond.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you
that
don't
was
get
really
that.
fun.
Your
I had
partners.
so-
Yeah, partners.
Yeah, I have to be thankful actually to Lifetime Hudson Media that we did that show. I was very hesitant to do the show because you know it's a reality show, but
It's hard to
I'm
leave your
so
home
glad.
for 2 months.
That's a lot.
you
That's
know?
crazy.
I'm so
And
glad
then
we did
constantly
it.
Exactly.
watched.
Yeah.
So Eva, do you and Kaya have any special rituals that you want to share or that you share together?
Or like, so you mean like traditions? More like traditions and stuff like that? Because
I mean, every
Like
year
every-
we go on
yeah.
we travel together.
we do. I'd
Just
say
the two
every
of us
year.
for like
Oh,
2
that's
weeks.
so
That's
cute.
And that ends up being like our time, like really our
Yeah.
time. To,
Yeah.
That is, or like traditions in
Hyperconnect.
general. Like we
Yeah.
have like our holidays are really big. Like mom's a big holiday person.
Oh,
like
so
Halloween,
yeah, so
Fun thing.
we go
All
crazy.
out,
Yeah,
the decorations.
Christmas,
Yeah.
all out.
Mhm.
Easter, all out. Like we just have big family parties, and we like to have like mom likes to host and like always have the party at our house, just because it's more. I don't know, like it's more fun, and everyone like in the family just like knows mom is like the hoster, like. Not only the entertainment like on TV, but like the entertainment at the house. She's just, you see her, she's just running around pouring drinks, making food, pouring drinks. Like someone's got a napkin. Like she's just running around, and it's kind of cool.
Oh, so what makes you the proudest? You know, what makes what about Kaya's
don't cry.
makes you the
Don't cry.
proudest?
She cried.
Yeah.
I hate when she tells me not to cry. That's Ugh. You know, I'm really proud of her maturity. I'm proud of your depth, and I'm proud of I'm proud of who you naturally are. Like I feel like from the time you were little, you were always super compassionate, and you were always very worried about others. So like you naturally fell into doing charitable things without my asking. Like you were always moved by things, and like you know, for school she has to have 20 hours or whatever it is of community service, but Kaya will do stuff way past like those hours. Like she, you know, we work with the Child Refugee Center here in Northridge, and all these kids that have come over from Honduras and El Salvador because they are just, you know, drug war-torn areas. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous, in fact, that their parents thought it was safer to send unaccompanied children 3,000 miles, safer to do that than to have them stay in their city where they could be abducted by the drug cartel and sex trafficked or or killed or whatever. So they send them by themselves. It's not because they send them to, you know, because they're
jobs
to
or
steal
yeah.
jobs. They literally send them to save their lives. And so every other weekend for the last year and a half we've been going, but Kaya literally on weekends that I'm like, you know, I think this Sunday I kind of want to, she's like, no mom, I got to go see my friend, like we have to go.
Yeah.
So they
'Cause I've
provide
made like
trauma
pretty good
counseling.
friends with like a lot of them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they have
So
like
good.
for a while they didn't have me sit in a lot of the older kids, and
It's
it's
trauma,
mostly
they
boys.
give free
have-
trauma counseling
yeah,
to these
like
kids.
therapist, like a
PTSD.
big therapy session, and now like I've become friends with a lot of them. So they ask. One time it was kind of cool. Like they asked their counselor, like their therapist, like their group therapist. They were like, "Oh, can we have Kaya? Can we have Kaya?" And I'm out there with like all the little kids doing arts and
We take
crafts.
care of the little kids while
Yeah,
the big
and
kids
some
get
kid
therapy.
ran out and he was like, Kaya, come here. And I was like, what? Well, like, what's going on? And they were like, can you sit with us, like, in our group? And I was like, yes. Like,
So
there's so
Kaya
much
gets
fun,
them
like-
talking better because it's mostly boys, and so the
Yeah.
therapist will be asking them questions, and they kind of are a little more closed down. But Kaya gets in there and she starts talking, and they're like, oh yeah, and then and then they start to open up and really
Yeah. So it's really
blossom.
fun, like,
That's
to really bond with the
awesome,
kids,
yeah.
too.
yeah. So that's what it makes me most proud of Kai.
I'm proud of Brianna's competitiveness.
Oh.
I love that about her. I love that she just gets out there and like, does her like job, and sometimes she overdoes it because she wants to make her dad happy, and sometimes her mom happy.
Sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're more on the horse stuff, but you know me. I'm all about school. I'm all about like whatever. You love the modeling. I love you to be in the show business, but modeling is what you love. So I want you to do whatever you want to do. But I love that you make sure that we're happy. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if sometimes she's like, I don't want to do it, but it's okay. I'll just do it because of dad. I'll do it because of mom. She's that kind of like a girl. But so I'm so proud of you with that. And what are the most important or most memorable thing that your mom had advised you guys?
Oh, well, SEX. Some stuff about that.
No, it's
But I don't know
okay.
if
You
wanna
can
talk
tell.
about-
You can tell them because a lot of like teenagers out there, and especially with this whole, social media, it's just,
Well, I mean, well, there's that to talk about, but then what I remember you giving me advice is when I broke up with my ex. Like, it was so hard for me because he was like my first real boyfriend that I really loved, and I don't know. He's probably gonna watch. I don't think so, but I was just so heartbroken, and I was in so much pain, and she was there, and I called her like at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, Mom, like, please come to my room. Like, I'm not happy, and she just said like everything's gonna be okay, and you may not think that right now, but later on you're gonna laugh about this moment and look at me like I'm laughing about it. Like, it doesn't matter to me right now. But like, she's really good with advice because she's been through that, and that's good because then she could help me through that. So
I tell her not to have sex. No, because you don't want. You don't want. Because I mean, I love that I have my daughter early because I party with them. I do stuff with them. I'm like one of them, But for my kids, I don't want them to see you guys, struggle and forget the dreams that you want to achieve because. Because.
What are their dreams?
Huh?
What are their dreams?
What is your dream?
my dream is well, of course, like, to be successful, and I've always wanted to be a model ever since I was young. Like, I used to watch Victoria's Secret, and I used to watch their fashion shows and runway and their costumes and their wings, and I was like, okay, like, I want to do that. So I want to strive and I want to go for that, and I want to, if I would have to, I would move to New York and sign with IMG. And, oh God, Mom's gonna cry.
Oh God. She's already gonna cry. Hasn't even happened. She's
Here
ready
comes
to
the
cry.
waterworks.
But that's my dream, to become a top model and just make you guys happy, and
That's some good dreams.
Yeah, that's a really
How
good
about you,
dream.
Kaya? What is one thing that you learned about your mom and your dream?
Wouldn't it be great if Kaya's dream was to make me happy?
It's
Why do I
not.
feel like that's not her dream? That's like not even on her agenda.
I feel like more of the dream is like to like go again. I feel like that's just the rebellious in me. There's like,
It's
it's like, yeah, do what mom says. Then it's like, don't do what she says. And I'm like, oh, what was that? Don't do what she says? Okay. I'm like, I like that voice better. That was a good voice.
Right?
Yeah, but
Oh my God.
my dream is to have like, I don't know, I guess like a really good solid family. Like I feel like in my life going through 2 divorces, not 1, but 2. It really put a damper on love and relationships for me. So I would really like to have a solid relationship with someone. I feel like I do right now with my boyfriend right now, who we've been together for almost a year. But yeah, but like in the future, to really have that family and have that really amazing marriage and relationship, just kind of that dream marriage where you're together for better, for worse, like till death do you part, like for like, I don't know, just like that entire, not divorce, next guy, not 3 marriages later, like, I don't know, that's my dream, to have like a good family and be able to raise my kids well and be like happy.
So what have you learned from your Mom, this is something
To
that-
not do it the way I did it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Do not get married 3 times.
And that's what's sad too, is that, you know, I was not able to give her what I would really have liked to have been able to give her as an upbringing in terms of having like a solid family, and that's sad. So it's just you and I.
Somehow you
Which
guys.
hasn't-
And then dad on the weekends. But yeah.
Dad on the weekends. But it hasn't been bad. It's been
Yeah,
great.
it's been
yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
been
You know, I
great.
get 2 Christmases. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
can I just say, I have 2 kids. When they turn 18, they want to be out of the house, like so fast.
Yeah.
But then again, once they turn like 20s, under 20s, 25,
back.
they come back, and you guys will miss us. I promise you that. But okay, so what advice can you give the teenagers out there about moms, about their
Listen to
parents,
your
about
mom.
Just say okay and you're sorry.
Just say
for-
okay.
For anything you've done, just say okay, you're right, I'm sorry. Just keep repeating. Repeat. Just say okay. Don't fight back. Swallow that pride and just say okay.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Try and walk away.
Oh, we get mad. You fucking bitch.
Yeah.
She said that word in that SEX.
What do you advise moms out there who has teenagers? And by the way, if you want a part 2 of this, you can just let me know. Let us know. Email us if you want part 2 of the
Yeah,
parent.
because man,
teenage-
there's so many topics,
many
thousands
more.
of topics here we
Yes,
haven't
yeah.
even touched on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. So what advice can you give women out there, especially who are women who are single parent and have teenagers?
Yeah, I
going to
think as-
college and high school.
I think as a single mom, because you are struggling and there is so much guilt. I mean, there's
Yeah.
guilt that there's the family is already broken, and that they're going to be able to get away with a little more usually.
Yeah.
And they start to slip through the cracks a lot of times when you're a single parent, because they'll play the dad against the mom because there's that space. That happens
so
a
true.
lot. Not so much with you and I. You and I are on
Dad,
the same
Dad is
page.
too lazy. I was like,
Yeah.
Dad, and he's like, I'm 3 hours away. I can't do anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh,
I'm like, and that
God.
kind of
Yeah.
works out really great, but not for a lot of my friends. And I just think that open line of communication is everything.
Yes.
That when you talk to your kids and you have your relationship with your daughter or your son, that you really have to make sure that you have non-judgmental conversations, because otherwise, no one, not just your kids, but your spouse, your friends, everybody. If you're
Yeah.
judgmental in a conversation, no one's going to tell you anything.
No,
Because they
yeah.
don't feel free, they don't feel safe to tell you anything. And then the
Exactly.
conversation's never going to flow. You're
And
saying
kids,
wrap it up?
yeah, kids, be open. Be open to your parents. We are your best friend. Not your best friends, but we are your
My
friend.
dog is my
We're your
best
best.
friend.
We're your best
Bingo,
ally.
my
We're
dog
not
is
your
my
best
best
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Because you're not, I'm not your friend.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
your mom.
yeah, mom.
But
mom
I'm your
and-
best ally.
Yeah.
I am your only ally, really. Like your best ally.
Oh, okay. Can you
social
can you
media.
tell your social media? Tell everyone where they can find you, where they can follow you, and ask for advice.
You can follow me on Instagram, Brianna.Bunevacz, if you need help spelling that.
It's somewhere.
You'll
It'll
figure
be
it out.
out. My regular is Kaya_Callahan, and then my travel account is Top Teen Traveler. That's pretty.
And KaiCallahan.com, where you can read your article.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hashtag still a girl campaign, and you can sign up to.
And how about Eva?
My Instagram is, and my Twitter is at I'm Eva LaRue. I am Eva LaRue. And then I'm getting ready to launch a YouTube channel, Eva LaRue, and it's called
About
Parenting.
Yeah.
And so that launches tomorrow, Friday. Very excited.
Yay! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations! So, my advice, whether it's for just a few minutes in the morning before you go to work or during the day that you've set aside just to spend with your kids, make sure that you take time to really check in with your children and nicely talk to them nicely. It's actually like that. That
That's the
really
key.
helps. That's the key.
Screaming.
And when you talk to them about situations that they're into, always say something that is connected to you or that happened to you. I feel like when I talk to them, to my kids, and they have a problem, I would always say my experience, and they would.
Yeah,
"That
because then
happened
it's
to you too?"
relatable.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
relatable. So, and they love hearing about what you
What you did as a
this,
kid.
when you say what
Yeah.
you did as a kid. And so make your conversations interesting and not just scolding them or annoying them with your instructions over and over again or controlling them. So the tip of the day, be like them. Be their parent, their best friend, and their party friend. Trust me, I party with my friends, and we have so much fun.
I am not gonna party with my mom ever. Oh my God, that's true.
I have 30 years old and 25 years old, so
Not party. Like we don't drink together, but we go and do fun things. Yeah, we do fun stuff together. We definitely go.
Oh yeah, my book. Date like a girl, marry like a woman. It's actually gonna be in audio. And Rolanda Watts is the one in the audio. Yeah, thank you so much, Rolanda.
Wow.
Okay, don't forget, give love and give love to the next person that you see, to the first person that you see after this show. Thank you. Bye. Oh, we don't have. Sorry, no champagne. Yay, that's so fun.
You're listening to Polished Woman, only on LA Talk Radio.
Thank you. A lot of kids will watch this.
Oh yeah.